President's Report. There were copies over there. I did 20, so you might have to share them. You never know how many people are turning up, so I didn't want to waste too much paper. But this will also be sent out as an attachment after the meeting, so everyone will get one. So just with this, I suppose that this is about my 6th or 7th one, and it's always difficult to know exactly what to say in the President's Report, but I think that the word people would sum up my report. And you look around at the AGM and all these wonderful people that have turned up, the nucleus of our society, the people that do a lot of the grunt work, and this you are what makes this place really, really amazing. Okay, so I really want to thank all the members, and each individual brings their own talents, from deep botanical knowledge like our orchid expert Colin, through to people who serve customers, prick out plants, Andrew who washes boxes like no one else, or any other myriad of tasks. But there are some individual people that I would like to thank, and I know it's really difficult to single out individuals, and I know I'll miss someone, and I know I'll upset someone, but you can come and smack me around later, that's alright. And if I've forgotten you, I do apologise, but there are some people who do spend a fair bit of time at things. So you may have noticed that every time you turn up here there's something different happening, right? And that's mainly due to Peter, who's sitting over there quietly, and he was down here all day yesterday digging holes and everything, and he's the main organiser. So he organises me, and he probably organises all of you as well. So he's also got his offsider Ian, who's also Jamin's dad. Most of you have met Ian. So he comes down most Saturdays in his caravan and they both work away at doing whatever really has to be done. So I'd just like to thank them all for doing that. Also, I'd like to thank Louise Harris, rarely seen, but just such a workhorse. She does all the rosters and everything, and if anyone's ever done rosters, you know just what a time-consuming job that is, and she does it all cheerfully and all that sort of stuff, so we couldn't do without her. Zoe, who's at the front here, right, she's our publicity officer, and she took that on willingly. She came to us and says, I want to be doing this, and that's really fantastic. And every so often you'll be reading a local newspaper or something and, oh, KS, fantastic. And she just absolutely fantastic at doing that, so I'd like to thank her for taking that job on. Jordan over here, the tree man, the bushman over here, and Erica, the front row here, organised the tree forum. Anyone who went will realise that it was a fantastic night, trying to get Knox maybe to take a little bit more care of their trees, which we've been on at them for a long time, and also for Erica for her work with our Rare and Threatened Species program. She had to write a big submission this year that she really stressed over, but in the end did a fantastic job, complete with wonderful photos and everything, so well done, thanks for that. The Kestrel, Nat does a terrific job on that. She's relinquishing that at the end of, well, she has relinquished that now, and she's also coming off the committee, but Nat, I would really like to thank you for all the work that you've done on that. I know I hang out every month to find out what's been doing. So again, if you'd like to be involved in the production of the Kestrel, just come and see one of us. We need all the help that we can get. Also, I'd like to thank Kirsty over here, right, who does a dual role. She's our treasurer, and with all the works going on here, we could quickly bankrupt the KES, and if I was in charge of the books, that's probably what would happen, because it's just money out, money out, money out. But Kirsty has kept a very tight control over the purse strings, and she's always on at Peter and I about spending. Thank you, Kirsty. And she's also taken on the role of office manager as well, and you would understand that, you know, in a organisation like this, we haven't just got the KES, we've also got the nursery to organise as well, and she does a great job in that office with her skills on the word processor and the spreadsheets and everything, so thank you very much for that, Kirsty. Also, have you ever been down here for Saturday morning? Saturday morning's fantastic down here, wonderful morning teas after we've been out hunting and gathering, and there's some great hags, as they like to call themselves. But they go out every Saturday and do wonderful things. It's just great to be out every Saturday morning. So thank you to all those people who come and do all that hard work on a Saturday morning, and then when we get back here, obviously they do work obviously preparing the cuttings, or they do potting up, or whatever else has to be done. So thanks to all those guys, and of course we bring it all back and generally ends up in there, and then of course it goes on to the really important people, so they tell me, which is our seedy group. All right, our seedy ladies who, if you come every Thursday, they rule the roost here. So they are in charge, even though anyone else thinks they might be. Jamin used to think he was in charge, but he knew really that it was the seedy ladies that were in charge. And they're either out here just having a great time, or you can hear strange noises from in there on winter days, and then in there is cederating in there. So thanks to those guys. And all of, yeah, give me a a little bit of brown nosing always goes a long way. But really I'd like to thank all the volunteers, because here obviously Saturday, Sunday, Thursday there's people selling here. We work with the Oppie Bike Ride, the Stringy Bark Festival, Knox Festival, National Tree Day. People have been working on the Baronia Heights. You'll see those posters over there. Melissa does a fantastic job on our posters and stuff like that. So she does all that. A Furniture Gully railway site. Jordan's got a small group of dedicated workers up at Furniture Gully railway site that we're now trying to work on. So well done to all those guys. Obviously Jill and Ian over the back there, always hiding, always low profile, but does a lot of the really good work here. So they organise meals and catering. Adrian over here, who's our secretary, stepped into that role, does a fantastic job, but he also does the website, he does emails, he does nursery stock take, so he just does everything really. And Irene, where's Irene? Oh, there she is. Now she is the best Vice President of the KS I have ever worked with. I'm just trying to think of the others, but I can't actually. Irene is just an amazing dynamo. She does all that behind the scenes work. She does so much work at the council with Gardens for Wildlife and everything like that. She's the one who smooths over any little hassles we have with the council. So when we do a bit of a rave or a rant here, she just smooths it all out. So thank you very much, Irene, for all your behind the scenes work. And I know we had a dinner to farewell in, and if anyone's interested in the property that they're going to buy, I can show you photos of it. So they've put in a price for the property they want, and it has been accepted, pending a few things, and it's down in Meetung, so that's not too far away, so we can always go down and visit, much to his chagrin. He has left, obviously, Jamin, and that's been a big hole, but Colin has again stepped up magnificently. So not only does he continue his orchidation over here, if you want to see a few wonderful orchids of Colin's work, they're over here, but also he's taken on the propagation role as well, and he's already right into it. He's examining seed lists, he's got Gantt charts, he's just, oh, there's colour, there's everything everywhere. If you wander down to the seed house and already see what's coming up, it's just incredible. So well done to him, and thank him for all that hard work. So we have had some really good things this year. As I said, we've got our Furniture Gully railway site that we've been given a lease over, so we've started to work on that. Baronia Secondary College, who knows what's happening there, but we just keep plugging away. If you walk out into our Bat family garden out there, all right, I know Adrian spends a lot of time out there dusting and cleaning and everything like that. But it's looking fantastic now, and some of the flowering out there is just magnificent. So Adrian tells me that's all his work, and I think he just goes and spreads out manure out there.
You're going too far now.
Just by talking to them, come on, he says to them. So that's really good. And again, we continue to work with the council. We've been very lucky in terms of grants this year. So we've had a number of grants. We had 10,000 for our sprinkler. We got another 10,000 for the railway site. We've had 2 grants of 5,000 from the council, and we're looking at others. So it's been a very good year in terms of grants. I think we finally realised what we had to write on them. It's all about the language. So crying and grovelling only works to a certain degree. So if you can see there's lots of things happening, and if you'd ever like to take on a particular role, or if you see a project that you think would be really good for the KS, we really need people who are willing to take that on. So if you think you've got something, come and discuss it with us. and we'd be more than happy to help you. So, thanks for all your support. You made being president just a wonderful experience, and it's certainly great to come down here every Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and see everyone here. So I'd like to move that this report be received and adopted. So Eric is a seconder. All those in favour? Right. So next is the election of the KS committee. So there are 10 positions. So for nominations I have Melissa Allen, Jordan Crook, Andrew McKernan, Andrea Coffey, Andrea Coffey, Andrea Coffey. I don't know whether she's doing 3 roles or just 3 times. Irene Kelly, Kirsty McKinnon, Erica Peters, Adrian Batt, and myself. So I think that's 9. Yeah, that's 9. So there are 10 positions available. Is there any other nominations? Anyone else would like to nominate? All right, well, therefore, those 9 are appointed. We need to, therefore, elect a president first. Is there any other nominations for president?
Congratulations.
All right. Any nominations for vice president? Irene. Any other nominations?
Does anyone else like to go? You're quite welcome. I don't mind being precious about it.
Well done, Irene. Congratulations. And secretary.
Adrian Batt.
He looks excited. Any other nominations? No? The Batman is in.
Congratulations.
Well done. And treasurer.
Kirsty McKinnon.
Any other nominations? Well done, Kirsty. And the other 5 then just form the general committee.
Richard.
Hello.
If there's no one else wants to be the 10th committee member, I'd be interested in going on and
All right.
having a look.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah. All right, so therefore that closes the AGM. Generally at the AGM, so well done to Matt, who's also on the committee. So well done, Matt. Welcome. Also, generally at the AGM, we award life members. We've already awarded a life membership this year, and of course that was to Jamin. We couldn't let him go without giving him a life membership. Even though he didn't want it, we don't care what he wants. We have a life membership to award for this year. Unfortunately, Kath's not here this morning, but Kath Loxton for many years ran was the guardian of Cowling. And the amount of work that she did at Cowling was just amazing. And if you walk through Cowling now, the beautiful reserve that it is now is mainly as a result of Kath and all her work. So we have awarded life membership to Kath Loxton. She will get a badge as well, a life membership badge, and her own plaque as well. Right, which will go up on there for the moment until that comes down, and then we find another place to put them. So congratulations to Kath Walker, a very deserving life member, a wonderful person for the environment locally in Knox, and without her, without people like her, our area would just not be the same that it is now. And Cowling is just a magnificent reserve, and it's getting better all the time. The Friends group there derived a lot of momentum from Kath, and I know she's involved, but not as much as she was, struggling a little bit with her health, but does a fantastic job. So well done to Kath. And also this year we have inaugurated another award, and that's our award for environmental achievement. And our first Service to the Environment award goes to Yvonne, who has come down today, and she gets a certificate as well. She gets a different type of badge to separate her from our life membership, and that's with the swordgrass brown butterfly on it, which Irene designed that. And she also gets her own plaque as well. That will go up there, probably in a different position, but hopefully there'll be many more people we can nominate for service to the environment. And you probably know Yvonne through her work with her job of helping native wildlife. So she's usually known as the Possum Lady. And she has just been amazing, the amount of time and effort she puts into the care of our native wildlife, from looking after them up all hours of the day and night, feeding them. But then it comes down to even things like finding food for them. We've just been talking about sourcing gum trees and stuff like that, swamp gums in particular. She finds that very difficult. So we're always willing to support people like that, and we'd just like to thank you very much for all your work, and we'd like to present you with your award. If you'd like to have a little bit of a sales pitch, you can tell them what a wonderful job you do.
Well, first of all, thank you very much to be part of the Knox Environment Society. I've been in the area now for 51 years, and I've had a lot to do with different members at different times, and with Darren at the back there, I've had a lot to do with him too. But look, congratulations to the committee, and I wish you a wonderful year ahead. And you seem to be going from strength to strength. And Richard, today, 4 years ago I lost John, and I sort of lost the plot a little bit, and I look after a little reserve, and it's just round the corner from me, and I've always called it Christopher's Reserve. And in the last 2 months I've got back into it again, and we've started to clean it up. And the excitement for us is that there is one wildflower appearing in it. Yeah. But to see it coming back, and to have the society's support, and I've got one of the bushland crew helping me now, and maybe one day you might all like to come up and have a look. It's on the corner of Cool Close and Market Street. You probably don't know where it is, and you'll have to look it up in your Melways. But it's just the most amazing little place. And just sitting there the other day, I counted 7 different native birds already coming in. And not a metre away from me as I'm cleaning and weeding, there's 2 magpies. And they just follow. Completely oblivious to the fact that I could have hurt them or anything, but they were working over the ground. So already we're starting to see the wildlife come back and really inhabit the place again. My work as the Possum Lady, 42 years now, I've been rescuing and raising and rehabilitating wildlife. I've got 31 ringtails at home, 2 in the nursery on hand feeding. And trust me, when I parked the car today, I wasn't looking at the beauty of the trees, I was working out where I could start coppicing. At the moment, I have to go out to Seville. I've been out there once this week. I'll have to go out there again, possibly again on Monday, because there's a certain amount of leaves that they need, and they only eat the top 3% of leaves. So, because otherwise it wears down the dentition too quickly, and they finish up with gum ulcers. So, you're looking for nice tips, just like there are around the car park. You have no idea what it's like not to go and get the nippers out of the car. But in saying that, thank you very much for this award. Thank you for believing that what I do is so valuable. And our wildlife is in trouble. And a lot of our carers have dropped out this year. I had 3 foster carers drop away, and 2 of our very experienced shelters, one through ill health and one she just can't keep up the expense anymore. So it's been a difficult year for wildlife carers. So to have this and to know that it's been recognised, I really appreciate this, and thank you so much. And thank you again, Richard, to you.
Thank you. And just before we finish up, I'd like to get Peter up here to give us a little update about, because everyone's always interested in, especially City days, always interested in the nursery development. So, Pete, the floor is yours.
What do you want? No, sorry. Everything. No, I'm not going to talk about everything. So where we're at, so the last year and a half been working with the Knox Council about putting up a shed here. That's been proved to be quite a challenge, but we believe that we're 2 weeks away from getting that permit to do that. One of the things which is fantastic that Knox Council has done is that they're going to take this building on as an owner-builder. They don't do that anymore. It's all up to the organisation. So that's what the last 6 months has been. Really good, robust discussions about getting them involved and taking on that leadership, and they've finally agreed to that, which is really good because they understand what we're about. We're not a footy club or a soccer club or a cricket club, because that's usually where most of the pavilions and stuff are built, and that's why they put that responsibility. So that's good, and that's saved us some money. So I'm happy afterwards if you want to come and see me and I can walk you through what the shed may look like over there. I've got some plans and we can do it there. But basically where we're at, we're hoping by Christmas is that you'll see a concrete slab there and the shed up. Okay, that doesn't mean that we're in it because we have to build a back wall for a fire rating wall because this will probably become units one day, so there's not a whole lot of requirements there. So just repeating, I'm hoping in 2 weeks' time that we'll have that permit to do it, and by Christmas a slab and most of the shed up, and then we've got to fit it out. How are we on track financially? Well, you heard the Treasurer's report. When we started this 2 years ago, we didn't have enough money to do all this type of thing, but it was a process we're moving on. Why? Because there's our propagating area, and it's getting too overcrowded. So, but sometimes you just step out in faith, and what's happened is we've, as Rich has talked about, I think over the journey today and promise, we've received up to $35,000 in grants from different places, with more in. So that's really encouraging to do that. And we've also had, how do I say this? So through my work, I do a lot of construction. Some of those people believe in what we're doing here and are donating their time, effort and a lot of money to help us as well. So by just telling people what we do, it's amazing how many people buy into that and then willing to give money or give time or give effort. So for example, the whole concrete slab and everything is costing us
A little bit later.
so that's really good. So that's a real nutshell with the shed there, and obviously I'm happy to talk to you if you want to know how it's all going. As Richard said, we've spent a fair bit of time and money on the sprinkler system, which is a big investment for us, but that's something that needs to happen with a pretty good sprinkler system, which we were just talking yesterday, is looking at possibly upgrading so you can actually run it off your phone. Why is that? Because when people aren't here in summer and things like that and we need to run it again, well, Richard could be in Townsville and run it. But that's kind of where we're just got to make sure the seating ladies aren't over there.
After here, there's morning tea on here. As you can see, Irene's been baking. She's made the chocolate and the biscuits, and the scones are mine. And if you believe that, you believe anything. So there's morning tea. Yeah.
I was going there, did people get to see who actually were the new committee? Do they know who they are?
Probably. No.
No, does everyone who got nominated and became a committee member would like to come up here so people can see who the new committee members are? Because there's obviously, if you filled them while I was down there, you've obviously got more people. I don't stand next to Eric, but that's okay.
Thank you, Eric.
Good on you.
So Andrew is new, and Matt is new down there. And the rest are just the same old cronies. Thanks, guys. Terrific. Welcome.
I think we forgot one more thank you. You know, Richard prepares this wonderful president's report that mentions the hard work that everybody does, but I think we all know that out of all of us, the person who puts in the most effort is Richard. He's the one who gets us all moving, or combines us all, and you know the work you've done for Baronia Heights. Just every week, you know, I receive lots of emails constantly from Richard, keeping track of this and that. I have no idea how you do it. He works full time as opposed to most of our volunteers don't. So exceptional work, Richard. It's very much appreciated.